What is up? What is up, YouTube? Hey, check this out. Akademiks just risked it all exposing Roc Nation. Now, you know, we covering a lot of stuff with Jay-Z, and I try not to add in DJ Akademiks, man, because I'm still a little pissed off, a little upset about what he was saying out of his mouth to that little 15-year-old. That wasn't cool at all, bro. I don't care if you running a podcast. I don't care what's going on. You don't talk to no 15-year-old like that, man. I don't care what's going on. Answer him them type of questions. What's wrong with you? So I really don't, you know, but then he tried not to apologize. Then he finally came out and apologized. So, you know, you got to forgive people and everything, but I got my eye on you. How about that? I forgive you and everything. I think I do, right? I'm trying to be the Christian thing and forgive. I think I do. Yeah, something ain't right with this guy. But anyway, he done got himself in trouble again. Done Akademiks done risked it all trying to expose Roc Nation or whatever the case may be. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy.
People have been looking at Roc Nation differently. While they are considered one of the most successful and influential record labels in hip-hop, they have earned themselves another more sinister reputation: gatekeepers who decide who shall rise and who shall fall in the industry. Many people believe that Roc Nation might have played a part in not only the incarceration of Tory Lanez, but also the downfall of many other artists in the industry. In many situations in the past few years, there have been a trail of breadcrumbs that always seem to lead back to Roc Nation. Just like we saw with the Meg versus Tory trial, it seems that once Roc Nation sets their eyes on you, you gotta be real careful what you say and do. This is something that DJ Akademiks has learned firsthand, as after he chose Tory in the Meg trial, Roc Nation has gone after him. They're dragging him into a lawsuit to teach him a lesson. Recently, Akademiks was subpoenaed by Meg's lawyers to attend a deposition. The only thing is, they didn't expect Akademiks to expose them publicly, as Akademiks went live and showed proof that could suggest Roc Nation could be behind this entire Tory Lanez takedown. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Akademiks exposing Roc Nation. Let's get right into it. At this point, we all know just how Roc Nation gets down. They're one of the most connected music companies in the business.
Wow, now this is a different picture. I always wanted to say, okay, you got Diddy's son right there. Wow. Jay-Z, this guy with the all white on, I always kept saying, who is this guy? Shaved head that's right next to Diddy. Oh, the guy in the gray, with the all white. Come find out he's a football player, man. He's a running back. I think he's a running back, but he ran the ball for long periods of yards. So he's a running back. I never knew that. So just in case y'all didn't know who he is, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. But I noticed something also. That's Jay-Z's bottles. Yeah, Jay-Z over there promoting his bottles, no doubt. That's crazy, man. Go on, Jay-Z. Do your thing, baby. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, y'all.
Roc Nation. Let's get right into it. At this point, we all know just how Roc Nation gets down. They're one of the most connected music companies in the business. We all saw just how connected they were when the CEO of Roc Nation, Desiree Perez, was exposed by her own daughter for trying to allegedly get her own daughter's boyfriend arrested. Desiree Perez's daughter showed evidence that her own mother had connections with law enforcement, also connections with the healthcare field, and even with powerful judges. Desiree Perez was essentially caught using her wealth and connections to institutionalize her daughter and incarcerate her boyfriend. This is the technique that Roc Nation as a company seems to utilize to get rid of their problems. The same techniques many people believe they used against Tory Lanez. Love him or hate him, one person who has always called this out was no other than DJ Akademiks. I know that for many reasons, a lot of people don't like Akademiks. I myself have been critical of Akademiks in the past, but I have to give credit where credit is always Akademiks.
My bad, y'all. I thought they called me. They didn't.
I know that for many reasons, a lot of people don't like Akademiks. I myself have been critical of Akademiks in the past, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Akademiks has always claimed that Tory was innocent and has inferred that Roc Nation was the one who set him up. Now, whether he says this because him and Tory are friends or because of some other reason, that's up to you to decide. Regardless, he has always called this out, and it now seems he's paying the price for it. It seems that Roc Nation set their sights on Akademiks back during the Tory and Meg trial. During the trial, Akademiks was covering all the breaking news and seemed to favor Tory with his coverage. At one point, he was even accused of leaking trial information and was even called out for it by Meg's lawyers and the judge. Another thing that Akademiks did was shine a spotlight on a smaller blogger named Milagros. Milagro was also covering the Tory Lanez and Meg trial as it was unfolding. She attended several trial days and reported back what she heard and gave her opinion on it. Akademiks, for whatever reason, decided to not only start showing her Tory coverage on his streams, but eventually even collaborated on content with her. Akademiks not only invited her onto his stream so they could talk about the trial, but he also interviewed her for his off-the-record podcast. This put more eyes on Milagros, and people started going to her for updates on the trial. Eventually, the trial ended, and Tory was found guilty by the jury. Milagro was one of the main people speaking out, claiming that she felt Tory was set up. This eventually got her in trouble when Thee Stallion announced she was going after the blogger for defaming her. In October 2024, Meg sued Milagro, claiming she not only defamed her, but did it for money, accusing her of being a Tory Lanez paid mouthpiece. Meg claimed that Milagros received money from Tory to slander her name. During the course of this lawsuit unfolding, Akademiks was eventually dragged into it when he was subpoenaed by Meg and Roc Nation's lawyers. Wow. Roc Nation's lawyers claimed they wanted to question Akademiks because they believe he might have proof that Milagros was being paid by Tory to slander Meg. When Akademiks attended the deposition, he quickly noticed this wasn't only about Milagro being paid by Tory, but Roc Nation trying not only to punk him, but also get him to expose information about their rivals in the music industry, showing us exactly how Roc Nation is using the legal system and the courts to do their bidding. During the deposition, Roc Nation's lawyers questioned Akademiks about his dealings with other artists like Nicki Minaj and Drake. This is something Akademiks further witnessed when Meg's lawyers accidentally shared their screen with their private chats between the lawyers at the deposition. Akademiks showed Meg's lawyers not only talking down on him, but he also found proof of Desiree Perez's involvement. Akademiks show their chats where they not only have points about asking about OVO, but also he saw a message where one of the lawyers literally states, "Tell Des he couldn't even wait for the deposition to be over to talk about it." Obviously, they were referring to Desiree Perez, clearly reporting back to her about what was going down during this deposition.
Like, I get what it was. You know what I mean? Like, this was a little psyop from Roc Nation. This is a Roc Nation play. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my personal opinion, like most things are. So yesterday I did a whole deposition for, in the case of Milagro Cooper, which is Milagro Grams, that you guys know her or might know her as, versus Megan Pete, or Meg Thee Stallion, which some of you might know her as, or some people might call her Bigfoot. That's not me though. That's them barbs. Okay. Anyway, they're going through a civil case. They're accusing Milagro Cooper of defamation. And because, and this is my opinion, because Meg is signed to Roc Nation, I've told you, it's one of the scummiest places. Like, they have a lot of things and access to grind, in my opinion. Like, for example, they don't like Drake, they don't like this, they don't like that. And they're finding ways to try to get dirt on everybody. Like, in this particular defamation case, I haven't spoken on text messages with Milagro in probably over a year, maybe 2. We don't text. We met one time in person, we did a podcast. We've had a professional relationship, but it's barely been any communication yet. They were insistent on trying to drag me into this, not necessarily, I believe, for that, but because of other, maybe cross-collateralized goals that they might have. Anyway, I think they knew twofold what was going to happen. Maybe they thought they could get some information from me or get me to say stuff that whatever fit their agenda. But I think they knew. You get Ak up in there. I got a big mouth. They ain't nothing secret with me. Okay? So you ain't got to wait for the transcript when it comes to Ak. Oh, this is a top law firm. Jay-Z, Quinn Emanuel, that's a law firm. By the way, I went toe-to-toe with him. No lawyer with me. I was just there. I'm just there weighing it. You feel me? If you want to know who are these people, this is a court reporter. Type in. This is the main lawyer that is operating from Quinn Emanuel on this particular case for Megan Pete. This lawyer here, which you're going to see how interested it is, because we got their names. We could Google them. We could Google them. She works at Quinn Emanuel. Matter of fact, let's Google them now. Marie, this is her right here. Let's go to her Instagram, shall we? This is her right here. Team Rock. don't have to look too far to see what Team Roc is. Okay, you don't have to look too far. We don't have to look. So they asked to put up an exhibit. They say, "Hey, exhibit girl, could you put up an exhibit that we want to show Ak?" Shorty, instead of putting up the exhibit, shows her screen. And I see the chat. I see the chat of the conversation happening with the lawyers. Oh.
Wow, that's crazy.
You want to see? Here's a screenshot here. Bang! Quinn Emanuel, look at this. Look, I don't know why they're talking about OVO. What is OVO? I don't know why Quinn Emanuel in their Slack, I think this is Slack, is saying OVO. I don't know. Then the other one says, Marie, good. I got more than we thought we would on that. Just make sure you're sharing the right screen. So she did it once. And the other ones are saying, yo, you shared the wrong screen. Like, look, I'm talking their ear off. They said, if he won't shut the up, I'm never getting through this. Yeah, I had a lot to say. This is the interesting part. Tell Des. By the way, I posted we had a break. I told him I wouldn't be on my phone while I'm answering questions. But these lawyers, they couldn't either hold their bladder or something while we were doing it. They're like, yo, we need some more time. We got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, damn. Yo, what y'all got in the cafeteria up there at the Roc Nation lawyer offices? She says, and this is where I realize we got you. Y'all are liars. Tell Des. If you're the lawyer for Meg and Pete, why would you need to tell Des? Who's Des? The only Des that I know, and I could be wrong. Desiree Perez, the co-founder and chief executive officer of Roc Nation. So you did this. So with y'all sitting there with me for 7 hours claiming that y'all had zero affiliation. And that, yes, even if y'all did represent Roc Nation, this is a Meg Thee Stallion thing. My conduct in that deposition, y'all are in an internal chat reporting, go tell Roc Nation CEO this. Akademiks is posting about the deposition. Come on, gang. Come on. When I tell y'all that Roc Nation, Desiree Perez, in my belief, is lining the whole industry up, and everything, even the Meg Thee Stallion, the Halle Baileys of the world, if you connect it to Roc Nation, trust me, they're cooking up some type of poisonous secret sauce to get your ass. Y'all think I'm lying? Well, here it is in 4K. The lawyers of Megan Thee Stallion, because I posted a story saying, yo, I'm in this deposition. They're asking about Drake. She says, tell Des. I said he couldn't get to the end of the depo without posting about it. All these names, it'll be interesting to figure out who these people are. Kayla Fleming, Julian Scholem, Joseph Bashi. They're probably pretty good. They're probably pretty good guys. I have nothing wrong with Quinn Emanuel, but I could tell that Roc Nation is a puppeteer pulling them strings. That's not on to y'all, chat. This particular deposition, I'm not a defendant. I'm not an involved party. They claim that I might have discoverable evidence. That's why they've subpoenaed me. And the subpoena required me to do a deposition that they should have been asking me about my knowledge of any information that could help or hurt the defendant or the plaintiff. And the people they asked me about was people like Nicki Minaj, Drizzy Drake. Hey, did Drake ever pay you? Did he ever do this? In the deposition for Meg, they're saying tell Desiree.
This was very interesting and extremely revealing. While Roc Nation and Desiree Perez have denied the rumors of being involved in the takedown of Tory, it's strange to see Meg's lawyers talking about reporting back directly to Desiree Perez. Why does the CEO of a massive company like Roc Nation have so much interest in a lawsuit filed by Meg against a random blogger? In my opinion, Desiree is deeply involved in this Tory takedown. We always hear her name when things like this happen. I wonder why. Also, it's interesting to see Roc Nation trying to gather dirt on Drake after Drake sues UMG, which is in a partnership with Roc Nation. I know people think Roc Nation is an independent label owned and operated by Jay-Z, but that is not the case. A simple Google search would reveal that Roc Nation is under UMG, the same label Drake is suing. Now, all of a sudden, Roc Nation's lawyers are asking questions about Drake. It's pretty obvious what's going on here. Like I said in my video about Drake's lawsuit against UMG, they're going to find any way to bring Drake down. During the deposition, they eventually began talking about the Megan Thee Stallion trial, where we can see exactly what the lawyers were there for. They not only wanted to intimidate Akademiks and get information out of him they can use against their rivals, but also force him into a corner where he would be forced to backtrack on what he said about Megan in the past. They were almost trying to force him to say Tory was guilty. But surprisingly, Akademiks didn't back down and instead told Meg's lawyers to their face that he believed Meg's a bold-faced liar.
You say that you and he believe that his incarceration was...
Counsel, please get closer to the mic.
Sorry, when you say that... let's try this again. When you say that you and him have had conversations about his incarceration not being that fair, you're referring to Mr. Lanez's incarceration?
Oh, no, I didn't say we had conversations. I said our disposition. I think we have similar dispositions. I didn't say we talked about it. I said, I along with him believe he's incarcerated unfairly. I mean, I think we don't need to have a conversation about it. He has filed multiple appeals, and me personally, I have, in my personal opinion, I think his incarceration is BS. Yeah, and unfair. Yes.
And by unfair, you mean unjust?
Yes.
And by unjust, would you say wrongfully convicted?
Yes.
Okay. What's your basis to believe that he was wrongfully convicted?
The basis would be, I sat through and watched. I thought the burden of proof was on the prosecutor to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Tory Lanez was not only in possession of a weapon, but shot Miss Pete. And I had a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubt that I thought was more than reasonable. So under that premise, I don't see, or I couldn't stand behind a decision to put somebody in jail for 10 years when there's more than what I believe is reasonable doubt that he didn't commit these crimes. So, from there, I'm not gonna agree with any type of incarceration of him.
You thought that there was sufficient evidence to sustain a conviction against him until after the trial concluded, or did you speak on it during the duration of the trial?
Oh, definitely spoke on it during the duration. When people are watching me give an opinion or cover a trial, it's definitely rooted in how I see it, mixed with, hey, listen, these are the facts. From the get-go, I definitely thought, hey, listen, this is a crock of BS. The get-go where the victim was supposedly, I felt like she was just lying. I felt like she was an habitual liar. I felt like she couldn't tell the truth to save her life. And then now when it relied on her testimony, along with a couple other things from what I've seen, but her testimony definitely was an important factor.
Just interject real quick. When you say a couple other things, you mean other evidence that was admitted at trial and considered by the jury during the criminal trial, right?
Yes.
Right, like bullet fragments pulled from her feet, right? At surgery?
Something. Say again?
Okay, let's try the question again. She just objected to form. That's okay. You can still answer, but I'll repeat the question.
Another form is that it's assuming facts, not in evidence.
Okay, that's not an objection during a deposition, but okay. One of the forms of evidence is metallic fragments that were pulled from Miss Pete's feet after surgery. That was admitted into trial, right?
Yes. Are we? I mean, I could broadly lay out why I feel that way, unless you're trying to get me to agree or disagree with each single point. The point of, and I'll sum it up for you. I'm going to think someone is a liar when they get pulled over by the police and they tell the police I stepped on glass.
You got shot? I didn't get shot. Oh, you did it? No, man. I mean, no, sir. You got shot? I didn't get shot. Oh, you did it? No, man. I mean, no, sir.
And it doesn't come out later until you're mad. I like to stay out of those things because people's objectives change over time. So if I was supposed to believe this person who ends up being the star witness, when she first gets pulled over, she stepped on glass. If I was supposed to believe her in trial, when she now hates this guy, and we all know, and again, I'm saying we all know, but I'm saying it from just a societal perspective. Listen, there's no girlfriend that's going to have a bad breakup with you and then go say, this guy is the best guy ever. Story's always going to change, perspective change. Then she says, no, he shot me. So again, I'm going off of those things, and I like to believe women. So when she tells me one thing and then she tells me another, I don't know what to believe, right? And to me, that's doubt already. That's doubt.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. And you didn't even go to a single day of the trial in person, correct?
No.
Okay. And you
I gotta hand it to Academic, man. I was gonna stop it a couple of times. He handling his business. He speaks very well. He is actually answering the questions and getting straight to the point. Not a bunch of bull like some of these people. Yeah. Like her. Oh my God, bunch of bull.
That's doubt.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. And you didn't even go to a single day of the trial in person, correct?
No.
Okay. And you understand that after the trial, a jury came to a verdict, right?
I mean, that's how trials go. The verdicts is usually
right. And in this case, a jury did come to a verdict, correct?
Yes, they did. They did. They convicted him. I still.
That's right. And they came to that. They came to that conclusion unanimously, right?
Yes. And I still disagree.
Okay. But unanimity means that all 12 juror members signed on to the same verdict, correct?
Yes.
After hearing all of the evidence, all 12 individual members of the jury agreed that the prosecution had proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion on June 12th, 2020, right?
So I've never argued what the
Alan, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, I've never, but it's a non sequitur because I've never said
it's not a non sequitur, Mr. Allen. It's a question.
A non sequitur because just starting from what I said what I believed. You're telling me what the jury did. Me and the jury are not the same people. So, for example,
understood, Mr. Allen,
acquitted of murder, but there are reasonable people who believe he did it. I don't have to accept what the jury said just because it was unanimous and they saw quote unquote all of the testimony. Also, I don't even believe that. That's part of his entire appeal. We have
what's part of his entire appeal? What's part of his entire appeal?
Well, there's evidence and testimony that I think is. Let me lay this out. Megan Thee Stallion is a flat out liar, in my opinion.
What's your basis for saying that she's a flat out liar?
I've seen her say something on Gayle King, and then when it came to being questioned by the prosecutors and being on the stand, she said something different. If that's not a lie, you tell me what it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she was clearly intoxicated that night. I don't think that's a something we have to debate. Kelsey, intoxicated that night. Okay. Tory, intoxicated that night. The only person that was not intoxicated, the only person I wanted to hear, I don't want to hear from the drunk people. The only person that was sober that night was Jaquan, or whatever his name is, Jaquan. He's the person I want to hear. Again, from what I've seen, Tory's team, they definitely fumbled that because they should have had him testify. He didn't testify. But if I'm a person, again, I'm not saying if we didn't accept the jury's decision, we would have went to break him out of jail. And we're talking about we as a collective in terms of the people of the United States. But we accept that a jury, when they do their job, they do their job. So we accept all their decisions. Doesn't mean that we have to agree with the conclusion they came to. No one's saying the jury didn't come to a unanimous decision convicting him. What we're saying is, despite that, we believe that he's being held in jail, and maybe I need to define this. When I say unfairly, we don't believe, or I don't believe, that he shot this woman, as the story is presented via how the trial went down. And
what is your basis? So, what I fail to understand is, as somebody who did not sit through the trial, did not hear through all the evidence, what is your basis for your belief that he did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion, although a jury of 12 who heard all the admissible evidence disagrees with you? All right. So, Mr. Allen, what I was asking was, can you explain to me the basis for your belief that Mr. Lanez did not actually shoot Megan Thee Stallion when, in point of fact, a jury of 12 determined that based on all of the evidence that they heard, that he did?
Ma'am.
Objection as to form.
I'll answer the question, but I feel like we are going in circles. I flat out stated that, again, I could lay out 20 points if you want to just consume and eat up time having me do that. But the initial basis of me believing that this did not happen, as how, yes, he is convicted, is because I believe Meg Thee Stallion is a liar. She lied initially. She lied on the national news. And I am skeptical that the truth finally came out in court. Based on that, there are alternate theories that I feel and is suggested that that is more a, and again, this is from my perspective. So I'm not sitting here saying the jury did not. Okay, we accept. There's alternate theories other than him shooting her that would even substantiate why, first of all, maybe he's just the worst shot in the world. If he's shooting a chick and shot 5 times, not one of them directly connected, it's hard for me to think. It's a man and a woman. I get it. Meg is like this behemoth of a person, and Tory's this little small dweeby dude, whatever. But it's very interesting, and it doesn't make. Again, I'm using common sense. I get it.
As you can see, the lawyer gets very defensive when Meg was called out. She went on the attack almost immediately, even when Akademiks repeatedly said it was just his opinion and he didn't believe her because she was a liar. This again shows how Roc Nation is taking advantage of the legal system to intimidate and force people into submission. That's why they have no issues with coming after Milagro and suing her for money she likely doesn't even have. It's all about teaching a lesson and trying to keep people from talking about them. They want to bully people like me, covering their disturbing ways, letting us know that they have no issues coming even after smaller platforms that expose them. They want us silenced. Now, while Akademiks exposed Roc Nation with his deposition, he also kind of exposed himself, admitting multiple times that he is just a paid mouthpiece for the labels. During the deposition, Akademiks admits the obvious that I've been saying for years now. He gets paid by all the major record labels in order to promote and market their artists on his platform.
So they start asking me, well, who have paid you to promote their shit? Now,
You've pimped
and I've said that. I pimped the record industry. I'm very proud of it.
the music industry.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember talking about that?
Yeah, well, I don't remember it specifically, but if I said that, it was more of their labels, whether with their knowledge or not.
Are there any other record labels that you haven't already told me about this morning that have paid you to promote one of their artists?
That pretty much encapsulates all of them, right? I said UMG, Sony, Warner. Those are the three record labels that control 85% of all active. And by the way, I think everybody knows this, right? Like, there's no secret that's happening here where you're like, oh my god, I've worked with Interscope, I've worked with Republic, I've worked with everybody, like Def Jam. I work with Def Jam a lot. You feel me? Like I've worked with Atlantic. Like, brother, if you're breaking news thinking that or think I'm about to like be lying about, oh, I've never worked with labels. No, I love working with labels. They've been a part of my business for a good while.
Now, I understand that he is running a business and it's how he makes money, but it does make him disingenuous and untrustworthy when he's taking money from labels to promote artists. As if he's taking money to promote an artist, his coverage of music isn't authentic. It is influenced by monetary compensation. Realistically, some or all of his coverage could be theoretically paid for by the labels, making him a part of the very corrupt machine that operates in the music industry. Akademiks allowed his greed to get the best of him, because at the beginning, he was making a living off just making content about his opinion of hip-hop, but then he started selling his opinion to the labels with the most money. It destroyed his credibility, and in a way, it's a form of selling out. This is why Akademiks won't back Drake in this lawsuit against UMG. Akademiks knows if he takes Drake's side, he's done in the music industry, as UMG is the biggest label in hip-hop and likely has paid Akademiks millions of dollars. He doesn't want to get on their bad side and lose all that money. Honestly though, I am surprised he is willing to go against Roc Nation, as he's openly admitted to fearing them several times. Either way, I think it's good that Roc Nation is finally being exposed. They're obviously the new gatekeepers in hip-hop and are using their power for all the wrong reasons. I want to know what you guys think about this below. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I gotta admit, bruh, that DJ Akademiks held his grounds. He talked very clear. He was very clear on what his point he wanted to make. And he never changed. He said, I think the girl's a liar. I really think she's a bullfrog liar. That's just my opinion. Right. So shout out to, I give him credits, man. Now I see why he got millions and millions of subscribers. Look here, man. Hey, he cool in my book. I still don't like what you said to that 15-year-old. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.